Welcome to the Personal Trainers Who Care podcast. My name is Catherine Marion, and I'm a manager and trainer at the Freeform Fitness at our Wellington location, and I will also be your host as we get to know another member of our fabulous team. Here we share the stories of our personal trainers because at the heart of every fitness business is a passionate individual who cares about changing lives and helping others realize their full health potential. This podcast is a production of Freeform Fitness, a boutique-style personal training studio with 6 locations across Ottawa, Canada. Here, we hire the very best personal trainers. They are ambitious, hardworking team players who know how to get their clients results. Our trainers provide expert personal training services in studio and online, and every program is tailored to the individual needs of the client. If you would like to learn more about Freeform Fitness, visit us at freeformfitness.ca. In today's episode, we're going to talk to Vania. She's a personal trainer at our Wellington location, and she's also a part of our management team as our VP of Operations. Vania has been with Freeform Fitness since 2012, and aside from her personal training certification, Vania also has a HeartWise certification. She has a Precision Nutrition Level 1 certification and is currently also teaching at our Freeform Academy Personal Training School. Today, as you'll see, we're going to be sitting together at our location. We're not only going to discuss Vania's work, but we're also going to talk about Freeform Fitness as a company and why it's so different from other gyms in the area. So in just a moment, Vania will be joining me. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome to today's edition of the Personal Trainers Who Care podcast. I'm here at our Wellington location. The gym is closed. We've locked the front door and we're expecting no trainers. Vania and I are both doubly vaccinated. She's allowed me to share that with you. And so we thought we'd have our podcast still perfectly distanced, but live and together just to create a little bit more fun for you guys at home. So thank you very much for joining us today, Vania.
Thanks for having me, Kat.
Okay, so, let's first start a little bit about you and how, you've been with us since 2012, and you've grown so much from a personal trainer to being a part of our management team, but what brought you to personal training in the first place?
Yeah, I actually kind of just fell into this job by accident, actually. It wasn't something where I was aspiring to be a personal trainer for a long time or anything like that. I kind of accidentally came into this role, always thinking that it was kind of like a temporary thing where, I would work as a personal trainer until I found like my real job, right? But yeah, I ended up enjoying it a lot more than I thought. So here I am almost 10 years later, still here, still loving it. And I guess to answer your initial question, how this all started, well, I got my Bachelor of Science in Human Kinetics from University of Ottawa. I graduated in 2008 at the height of the recession, of course. So yeah, after that, with very little job prospects, I figured, what should I do but to go and do more school. So I went back to University of Ottawa to get my master's in sport and exercise psychology. And again, it wasn't something that I really wanted to do. I basically chose that program because it was an applied master's. I didn't have to do this big research paper and research studies and all that. So that was the main draw. But again, accidentally, it's happened to, play a big role in my job, I think, because it's so important to learn about, how to read people, how to really understand our clients, right, in order to best do what we do. So after finishing school and graduating, looking for jobs, I figured, okay, because of my education background, personal training was something that I was technically qualified for.
Yes.
Right? So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just give it a shot. But in reality, I had maybe stepped foot in a gym and done my own workout, less than 5 times. So I was totally not prepared when I first started training here. Not exactly sure why it actually hired me, but
what they did.
Ended up
It's a
working
good
out.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess I started. I worked hard at learning how to do things properly to keep my clients safe, and yeah, it's incredible the change that we're able to make in other people's lives, right? So
I think so, and I think, I'm going off script a little bit. You said something that I want to touch on, is that there's a lot of learning as we go. And it's not because, we don't have enough education, before coming here, but each one of our clients brings something unique, like, you learn about how to move certain ways, but then you meet someone who has like a hip replacement and you realize, okay, movement changes drastically when, XYZ happens. And we learn with them, which is, a terrific way. They learn as well. And then each one of our clients who has something that's so unique to them just helps us grow as personal trainers as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I think my inexperience and, lack of knowledge about working out in general kind of benefited me in the long run, because I realized, okay, the more I learn and the more I educate myself, the better I can, provide a good, training program for my clients. And yeah, so going from things like, all of a sudden getting 3 or 4 clients at the same time who are all pregnant or had just given birth, I was like, oh, I guess I'll have to learn how to train people while pregnant and help them out in that way. So yeah, every time somebody comes in with something new, immediately, I'm doing my research and learning more in order to provide them with the best service that I can.
Yeah, and learning has been a big part of you, because you do have those certifications. So you've got HeartWise, postnatal. You're also involved with the Freeform Academy. So those things are important to you because it helps your clients, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've seen the benefit that, the more I learn, the more I can provide for my clients and to help them the best I can.
Yeah, love that. So how do you incorporate, all of this knowledge into your day-to-day work, right? So in comes someone brand new, they too have never been in a gym before, like, do I even belong here? How do you incorporate your knowledge to help them, A, feel comfortable to be here, and then get them to, the best place they can be?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, the first thing is just asking a lot of questions and learning as much as I can about this person. And that's where sort of like that psychology background comes in, being able to ask the right questions as well, and being able to kind of like read between the lines, right? I'm sure we all do a little bit of that.
A little bit.
They give you an answer, but there's more lying underneath. And having being able to feel comfortable enough to kind of dig a little bit without, seeming like you're prying and getting too much information. So yeah, being able to read what that person's giving you and knowing when you can poke a little bit more.
Yeah. And is it intriguing that tends to happen over time? So in the first week or month, you have, this type of relationship with your client, and next thing you know, they are telling you all of those extra things, right?
Yeah.
It just becomes, such a personal relationship. And then it allows us to get better at doing, at helping them get to where they want to be, right?
Yeah, exactly. And people don't think that, divulging all that extra information may be beneficial for what we do, but it is important. Because things like stress, how much you've slept, what you're going through in your personal life, that might be affecting how you're feeling, how you're moving, and it all plays a role. And the longer that I work with my clients, it can get to the point where, let's say, we're in like a strong, heavy strength phase where we're lifting big, heavy weights. If I see my client walk in through the door, I can just tell that they don't have it, right? We have to be able to be like, okay, no, we're not going to lift heavy because there's something going on. If we try something too much, you're probably going to there's a good chance you might get injured, or it just won't be effective anyways, right?
Yeah.
So why expend more energy doing something that's not useful?
Yeah.
So yeah, just being able to shift and adjust the program based on how the person's feeling.
And it's interesting because we all do that. Our clients come in through the door and we say, hey, how are you doing? And we don't actually mean it like in a passing down the hallway way in a government building, let's say. It's really how you're doing, because like you said, if you're tired or stressed, or your baby kept you up all night, or you've got a bit of a headache, like all of those things mean that we can adjust. So it doesn't mean that you get to leave and not work out, but we can adjust what we do on the spot for that person in that moment right there, right?
Yeah, and people think that because we had to adjust things that they're like wasting a workout or something, but no, it's not. There's always something that we can do to benefit to feel better after they come in, so they can tackle whatever whatever it is they need to tackle for their day.
Yeah. What do you think you enjoy most about personal training? I mean, it's hard to say one thing, but maybe one or two. What are some of the things that you enjoy most about personal training?
Yeah, ultimately, it's like, building those strong relationships with your clients over time, and just seeing the change and the impact that they're making.
Yeah. Fabulous. Well, we know what you can do. I mean, you've been here for 12 years, or not 10 years, 10 years, since 2012, 10 years. Almost 10 years. And, there's a steady stream of clients that come in and they refer, you to other people because, they're so happy with their work that they're getting and to where they are in life, like where they are in their strength and in, and personal, but mental and physical, it all kind of comes in together. But let's talk a little bit about freeform as well. So freeform as a whole, we kind of haven't had a chance to do that on our podcast yet, so I thought, who better to do it with than you? What do you think separates freeform fitness from other gyms?
I think the main thing is just the consistency in what you're getting from trainer to trainer. During this whole COVID stuff, which really affected us because we were closed, right? But we didn't rest on our laurels. We worked really hard behind the scenes, trying to figure out, okay, what is it that we can get better at overall as a company. And one of the things that we focused on was our hiring process, making sure we're hiring the right people, and really building our training program as well. So our onboarding, making sure that, okay, once this right fit person has been hired, what do we need to do to train them properly so that once we actually give them a client, that we know we're confident in their skills to be able to do a good job.
Yeah, it's, I think sometimes people don't realize that, we go through great lengths before deciding which person, can work in our gyms, in one of our locations. And there's so much that they have to do before we give them that first client because we want so much for our members, for our clients.
Exactly. And a lot of people, say various things about this gym or this other gym, but there's always going to be good and bad trainers everywhere.
Of course.
Right? So it's nothing to do with one specific gym or location. But what's the word I'm looking for? The consistency that I was talking about, that's where the difference lies, right? If you go to a different place, it's like rolling the dice. Maybe you will get a good trainer, but maybe you won't.
Yeah.
But here, I can really confidently say that no matter who you're getting, you're going to get a really great trainer who will, change your life.
Yeah. And we are a personal training studio. So if anyone at home is not sure what that means, what does that mean for us in our locations, in all of our locations? So you work one-on-one with a trainer?
Yeah. So you work one-on-one with a trainer. So, we ask a lot of questions. We really dig deep and figure out, what you're looking for, what your day-to-day life is like, and, what you need in order to make your life better.
I think a lot of people, the feedback that we get is that whole accountability aspect to it. One, there's an appointment. So you kind of feel bad if you don't show up. Whereas for some people, they go to the gym today, and then they have breakfast, like, okay, I'm too full. And then they take a call because it's a meeting. And then it's lunch, and now they have lunch, and now they're too full. And we just sort of go through the day, go, okay, later. Then it's 6 p.m., you just had dinner and a glass of wine, and that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, there's someone here waiting for you, and that tends to make you want to show up.
Exactly, yeah. So, having that appointment, knowing that somebody's waiting for you, it forces people to actually come and get to their workouts. There's no excuses. And if you don't show up, we're calling, we're messaging, asking you where have you been? I'm waiting. And again, we don't let it slide, right? So if you say, oh, things got busy, I got called into a meeting, well, we can reschedule. I have space later in my day, tomorrow even. Let me know when you can come in so you're not missing your workouts.
And on top of that, not only do they have an appointment, but the accountability portion is when we ask them, so when we talked about you drinking, your 2 liters of water a day, how's that going, right? And right, so we decided to change your breakfast. How's that going? So we're actually trying in a good way to make sure that the advice that they've asked for and that we've provided, that they're following it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like a one and done situation where we give you advice, try and help you out once, and then we never follow up or ask about it ever again. It gets to a point where I've had clients tell me that, I can hear your voice when I'm at home telling me that I should be doing this, and hopefully eventually they're able to do it on their own, and I'm not like that voice inside their head all the time.
Speaking of nutrition, we have something brand new that's just launched just last month. So collaboration, if you will, between Freeform Fitness and Cabin Nutrition, and I think it's really exciting. Let's tell everybody about that.
Yeah, so improving the nutrition side of our service is something that we've always been wanting to do, and not quite sure how to do that. So Cabin Nutrition is another great business local to the area, who we've heard lots of great things about. So we reached out to them, and we kind of collaborated on a separate program where you're working with one of our trainers, and then you're seeing their nutritionist as well. So they're helping you with your nutrition, and then we're helping you with your physical progress as well.
Yep.
So
I think it's really important to mention that there are things that all of our trainers can do to help with nutrition. There are basic facts that we can help you with, but sometimes you need that extra little bit of help. Just like, if a muscle isn't moving well, you need to see either your chiropractor or your physiotherapist or your massage therapist. Sometimes there's just that little bit of expertise that you need, and that's perfectly fine. And we're just happy to be able to provide that. It's just, that extra step that a certain person might need.
Yeah, exactly. And earlier I talked about, consistency within all the different trainers, and in terms of what we're able to do in terms of like an exercise and programming standpoint, across board we're definitely consistent in that. But it's the nutrition side where, it does take a little bit more time working as a trainer, more experience, in order to better help people with changing their nutrition. So I know that myself and a few other trainers have that precision nutrition certification, which is helpful, but not everybody has had the time to do that yet if they're a newer trainer. So this is just our way of adding that, consistency piece, right? So if you're really wanting that nutrition help, then this is the way to ensure that you're able to get that quality and care that you need.
Mm-hmm. Which brings us back a little bit to our tagline, right? We say this all the time, that we put the personal in personal training, right? Isn't that exactly what we do day to day with each individual, each person, who they are right in front of us, not sort of a spreadsheet, not a model of, but the exact person standing in front of us.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard to talk specifically about different clients and stuff like that, because we do care, right? You and I share a lot of our clients, and a lot of times we get teary-eyed when we talk about it. It's happening right now.
I know. But I think the reason that we get so emotional is because they come in with, when I think about some of our elderly clients, they come in with things that are really difficult for them. And what by elderly, it could be anything from 60 and over, and I'm not saying that you're elderly, but if you've had a hip replacement, or if you've had, an Achilles tendon tear, or if you had a knee replacement, or if you just had surgery, suddenly everything feels like you stop, and you don't want to feel like you're stopping. And so they come to us, and next thing you know, they're moving slightly better, or able to tie their shoes, or able to pick up a grandchild. And it's so moving to us because we're helping to bring back a part of their life that they weren't sure was going to come back, or if it was going to come back quickly or not quickly. And it's just part of the fabulousness of what we do, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not all about aesthetics and looking better, although that is
that too.
Your life better, then we're all for helping you get there. But being able to enjoy your life and live a little bit better, that's amazing to me.
I guess that brings us to the people that we can see, right? And so we have all age ranges in here, from I think the youngest is 15 all the way up to senior ageless for now, but the point is we can help, just about everybody reach a goal that they've set for themselves, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, if you've never been to a gym in your life, you have no idea what you're doing, you're the perfect person for us, because we're here to help you out and guide you through those steps and progress you as you get stronger. We also see more advanced clients as well, or I should qualify that with people who may think they're advanced. Because the amount of times where I have people coming in saying that, oh, I've been, lifting weights on my own for decades, I know what I'm doing. But then you have them do a few exercises and it's like, you're doing stuff completely wrong. So if you've never had that coaching, or if you've maybe had a poor coach, unfortunately, you may not know that they were poor. But yeah, that's where we come in, and we're able to break things down and show you how to work out more effectively.
And working out more effectively means that you were eliminating, or at least at the very least, we are decreasing the chance of injury, right? So it's not so much that we want, you're doing it wrong, it's like, okay, wait a minute, like that could potentially lead to something. And then, nobody wants to stop having to train for X amount of days or weeks on a kind of injury. So for us, it's important to us because we want you to be able to keep moving, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if you're doing things properly, you're getting a greater benefit to the exercise as well. Because let's be honest, it's hard work coming into the gym, right? It's not a cakewalk. So why expend all that energy if you're not getting the full benefit by doing the exercises improperly?
Yeah. The other thing that we've often done is some of our members, we work with the member who may have a specific injury along with their doctor or physiotherapist or chiropractor, where the three of us are working together to get that person to where they would like to be, whether it's post-injury, post-surgery, right?
Yeah, exactly. That communication with any other health professional you might be working with, that's really important as well, knowing that we're on the right page and, following the same steps.
Yeah. Okay, so we often talk about our buddy system, right? So that most of our clients, we try to encourage most of our clients to work with two of us. We have some of them that work with just about all of us, because it depends on their schedule. Shift work can do that. So that's, I'm going to shift a little bit myself. That's another great thing about us, is that because we're open, from 6 a.m. to just about 8 p.m., if you do have shift work, there's room in there somewhere with somebody, right? But we try to encourage the buddy system where you work with two people. Why do you think that's important? Why do you think it's valuable?
Yeah, number one, that consistency that you mentioned, right? Being able to come in whenever you need to come in and not having to, try and fit yourself into one trainer's particular schedule. And the most important thing for this to be effective is communication between your two trainers, right? And that's something that we do really well. We've shared tons of clients over the years, and we're always talking about our clients with each other. Oh, what should we do next with this person and whatnot. And it's also fun too, getting to know different people, right? So Kat's a little bit more energetic than I am, so you get a little bit of that, and then you get something different with me. So it's like having access to a broader spectrum of knowledge and experiences. Kat's had 4 kids, I don't have any, so you're able to draw from those experiences and help clients in that way. And it's just the more the merrier.
I like it. Awesome. The other thing that a lot of people ask us about, and I get this a lot because because I manage the location, I tend to answer the phone, when I'm not training people, is 30 minutes. Really? Just 30 minutes? Right? I think some people think, okay, can that be effective? And oh boy, can it ever, right?
Oh, for sure. Sometimes it's like the first set, and people are like, oh, there's still like 20 minutes left to go. We're not done yet.
We're not done yet? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I need a nap. But it definitely can be effective, because the goal is to train smarter, not necessarily harder, although it is hard work. But we get told all the time in society that more is better. Go for that extra rep, work for that extra 10 minutes or whatever. But sometimes we have to realize when is enough based on what other things that you have going on, how much exercise you're doing outside of your time with us. And yeah, we take all of that into consideration.
And I think, when you come in, the cell phone gets put down, and it's 30 minutes of just the two of us. And yes, you will get rest, there'll be rest in between, but there's not a lot of, wasted time. And the beauty is 30 minutes, that fits in your day.
Yeah.
Right? People can easily, that doom scrolling that you're doing for 30 minutes, how about you come in here instead?
Yeah, exactly. It's not hard to fit in 30 minutes. Whereas if you think about, I have to go to the gym for an hour, shower, or whatnot, add all that in, and all of a sudden it's 2 hours that you're spending, right? So yeah, you can definitely get an effective workout in within 30 minutes. You're in, you're out, it's done, and you can go about with the rest of your day.
Exactly. So, we're talking about everybody else's training. What about your own? Do you ever train? You said you didn't before, but do you train now?
Yes, I do now. And I'll let you in on a little secret. It is still hard, even though we work in a gym. You'd think that it'd be easy for us, right, to just get our workouts in. But I also struggle with making sure that I get at least my 2 workouts in that I want to every week. And I also play soccer in the evenings a couple of times a week. But having a coach is really important. I don't have one right now, but I did previously. Even though I am a trainer, I know what I'm doing. But you need that accountability, right? Yeah. Having somebody call you and make sure, hey, did you do these workouts? And you never make yourself do the things that you hate, right?
Of course. Push-ups, that's me.
Yes, and so the things that you hate are probably the things that you need to do most, which I'm not going to make myself do, but my coach is going to make me do it. So yeah, it really is important. No matter where you are, how much experience you have, having a coach is what it takes.
And I often tell my clients the same thing as well. You use us, need us, because you have accountability. It allows you to come in and not think. And that's how I feel about having someone train me. I love thinking for my clients. I love coming up with programs and what can we do today, and can we go 10 pounds heavier? But when it's my turn, I am just like all of them. I just don't want to think. I just want to have my workout. So we are really just like them.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I'm so lazy.
Yeah.
If I had planned on doing 10 reps and I'm done after 6, it's easy to just say that's enough for me. Yeah. So I don't have anybody saying, hey, do those extra 4 reps, right? So
well, I'm really glad that we're able to talk about freeform fitness and a little bit about your workout plans and how lazy you are. I've seen you working, you're not really lazy. But I want to talk a little bit about you. Anyone who's seen you on the YouTube channel that we have a freeform fitness YouTube channel with lots of fun stuff. There's so much in your life. You cook. Do you really love to cook? You just do it because you have to?
No, I do really.
I'm so impressed because I really, really don't like cooking.
No?
No.
Well, you have like half an army to feed.
I do, and I do it to keep them alive. That's the only reason I cook.
Yeah.
But cooking is a big part of of your life.
No, exactly, and I think it stems from enjoying traveling. Oh, how I miss traveling, don't you?
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, those good old days.
And having access to different foods as well, different cultures where we may not have all those foods available here in Ottawa. And yes, Ottawa is very behind in some cuisines. But yeah, so I just Google different dishes that I've really enjoyed and want to try making myself. And yeah, the more I eat, the more I want to learn how to cook.
That's really impressive. And you grow your own vegetables.
Yes, yeah. Garden.
And you're a cat mommy.
Yeah.
And you love plants.
Yes.
Like me. That's the one thing we
have.
Yeah. I'm not a cat mommy, and I don't love to cook, and I have tons of plants, but I don't grow my own vegetables.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't want kids, so.
Okay, I got that thing. Okay, so if someone is watching us right now and they're inspired, like I think I might like to join the gym and train with Vania, what would you like them to know about you?
About me in particular? coach clients, I know exactly what they're weak at and where it's going to be, just under the maximum, right? So you're working hard enough, but it's not going to push you over the edge where, you can potentially hurt yourself or be sore for like a week afterwards.
And to add to that, just before we started this podcast, you were training a client who, I was working, but I could hear, and I kept hearing, wow, oh my goodness, wow.
Yeah.
Because I think this person just did something that they didn't think that they could, and that gave me goosebumps in that moment.
Yeah, exactly. It's really inspiring, especially for those, older women that we've seen over the years. They've never set foot in a gym, they've never done anything physical in their lives, just because when they grew up, it wasn't really a thing, right?
Yeah.
So being able to show them, what things they can do, all that they can achieve is really inspiring. And a lot of fun too.
I know, I like it too. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's that one client where we taught her how to do a box jump or something, and she was like, "Oh, I feel like I haven't done this since I was a child," and it's like,
right? I know,
that's all
jumping.
she wanted to do.
And let me tell you, just starting to jump.
Yeah.
It's incredible what the brain does. If you don't believe us, try it. If you've never jumped
Yeah.
before, set up a platform, make sure it's safe, and just try to jump and land with both feet together. And call us. Let us know what your brain does, because it's amazing how the brain's like, I don't want to do this. I haven't done it since I'm 10.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's such a great barrier, right? When you
Yeah.
but each of those steps that we do, like that little bit of, getting the barriers out of the way and then getting stronger.
Yeah.
Now I feel like jumping.
Yeah, why not?
No, maybe not. Okay, I always finish with 3 rapid fire questions. Everybody in the podcast so far, so I thought, why not throw them at you? Number 1, what's something that you know now that you wish you knew when you first started personal training?
Oh, a lot.
Okay, so pick 1 or 2.
Yeah, I guess one major thing, particularly coming with my educational background and going to school for human kinetics and learning about the body and anatomy and all that, just understanding that there's no absolutes. There's a lot of gray in between, right? So you learn about, the thoracic spine, for instance, can rotate however many degrees, but as you age, as you experience different injuries, even on a day-to-day basis, if you're stressed out and you're not breathing properly, that affects how you move as well. So I think something that I really wish I had known earlier on in my career is understanding that not necessarily to put those same expectations to everybody, right? So, just because they can't twist all the way, doesn't mean you have to get them there, right? So working within their limits and just not expecting anything, really.
Great. Think about a beginner. What's the first skill you like to teach beginners?
Yeah. This is a tough one too, because again, it's a little bit different for everybody, right? So we go through our assessment during our first session with the clients, and depending on what I see, I always start with something a little bit different. So, if they are struggling with their squat pattern, maybe I'll go with that. If they're not breathing properly, maybe I'll talk a little bit about that. Core, everybody seems to think they know how to engage your core, but as you know, it's not always the case, right? So, especially for women, they're so used to sucking their belly in. And yeah, sucking your belly in isn't what you do to
we heard that for years. Suck that belly in, suck that belly in.
Yeah, no. So you want to almost push out.
Yeah,
to
brace.
be able to, get the core activated. So yeah, it's different for everybody.
Beautiful. And what do you believe is your most valuable coaching skill? Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I guess being able to read people and understand them.
I think I would agree with that. Yeah. today.
Yeah, thank you.
That was great. So, but you can find more of Vania on our YouTube channel. There's some cooking stuff in there, and you're always posting some fun videos on our Freeform Fitness, all of the Freeform Fitness platforms. So we've got Freeform on Instagram, and we've got Freeform on Facebook, and I'm forgetting something. I think we're on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
So you can see a lot of
all the stuff.
all the stuff. We're there. You can see a lot of Vania on all of those platforms. So thank you for joining me today, and thank you at home for watching us today. Make sure while you're here that you check out some of our past podcasts to learn more about our incredible team. And while you're there, you can you can even comment. We always like to respond to some of your comments. And if you want more health and fitness tips, follow us across all of those social media platforms. And that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on the Personal Trainers Who Care.